Hi and welcome back to FreeDU Hub. Today we are trying to learn how can we penetrate on server operating systems. This is a ethical hacking course. We are trying to understand that how penetration testing works in your environment, and if you need to check the overall security of your network and different operating systems, how can we do that? So this is an educational course. We are trying to understand ethical hacking as well as penetration testing, and for that we have a couple of virtual machines running on our virtual box. Now as you can see that I have my Kali Linux running and I have my Windows Server 2008 running. Just make sure that they are on the same network by checking the host only adapter settings. That's first step. Second thing is just make sure that what is the IP address of your Kali Linux as well as what's the IP address of your server operating system. As you can see that our Windows Server 2008 is running on a virtual machine and I have an IP address as 106, whereas our Kali Linux is on 105. Now in order to start, first, let's go to the execution and try to run the Metasploit over here. It would ask you for your administrator password. Now enter the password. You'll see an interface like this one. Let's clear the screen so that we can start the process and you can see what we are doing actually. So using the Metasploit, what I'm trying to do today is that I'll try to attack any of the services which are there on my Windows server, and I would embed a payload in any of the services which are running. And that's usually what happens if you'll download a file or a music file, maybe a video file or anything like that on your system. As long as it's running, you can control the remote system and see the different processes which are running on that system. So let's start by searching for Eternal, and we'll try to check that what do we see over here. And as you can see that it is telling me that in the Eternal we have lots of different things, and we can actually use this exploit which is over here. You can copy it from here, and it is MS17-010, which is Windows SMB block, and we'll be trying it on Windows Server 2008. So now since we have copied it, now let's try to use it. And if I want to use it, I'll simply paste it over here, where I would say use exploit Windows SMB and 017-010 and press enter. Now it would show you that no payload configuration is at the moment configured, but it can use Meterpreter and reverse TCP over here. Next is, like we always do, we'll have to set the R host, and we'll have to provide the IP address for that one. .56. If you remember, we checked it on our server that it's 106. So we'll select 106 over here. So we have selected the remote host. Next, we'll set the listener host and we'll select the IP address of our Kali Linux, which is 105. So now we have the remote host and listener host, both of them actually configured on the system. But still there is one thing missing in this one, and that is defining the payload. So I'll define the payload by saying set payload Windows x64 Meterpreter and reverse TCP, press enter. And then let's try to see the show options in this one and see if everything's good. We haven't provided the SMB username and password, so we'll have to define that over here first before we will actually exploit the remote operating system. So now since we'll have to define the SMB user and the password over here, it really doesn't matter if you have a user with the admin privileges or not. I created a user on my Windows server. You can do the same as well. And I'll say it SMB user as test01, and that would be our SMB user. And if I want to have the password for that one, so I have selected the password as SMB pass, and then you'll type in the password. So enter the password and press enter. So I have selected the username and password over here. Now once that's done, check the show options again, And as you can see that we have our local host and remote host, everything configured on this one. We have the account for the SMB user and password appearing over there, and remote host is our 56, which is Windows Server operating system, and our local host is Meterpreter, that is on our Kali Linux. And let's get started by typing exploit and press enter and see if it's able to exploit the server operating system or not. And as you can see that it is successfully penetrated on our remote system, which is Windows Server 2008. So when you see, it means that Meterpreter is now working or running on our remote server. So let's try to check if we can find it on the task manager over here, if we can see Meterpreter running in the services or anywhere. So if we'll see, these are basic Windows services which are running in this one. If you click on the application, we have only command line interface, which is our CMD, which is running. But other than that, you won't see anything that Meterpreter is actually running on our remote system. So even if the people on this system want to see that what are the services running and if we have Meterpreter running or not, they'll not be able to see in this one, since I have sorted it according to the name of it. You can still can't see it on this one. We have the process ID, its description and status appearing on this one, and even on the performance you don't see any indications that someone is actually connected to your system. So then the question is that where is actually Meterpreter running? So what it did is that it executed it on the remote server, and then it is hiding in any of these services as a native service. So if you look at it, you won't be able to identify it, but then I'll show you how can you actually change the PIDs in this one and try to control any of the services which are running on your remote system. Now, since we know that we are on our remote system and we have successfully penetrated on this one, so if I'll type in PS, it would show me the process list which is on our Windows Server 2008. Now here, if you'll see closely, we have command prompt open, so it is showing us that it's running on the remote system. And if you'll see closely, you'll be able to see the PowerShell as well, and the ID of PowerShell is appearing as 380, whereas we have the process ID for our command prompt as 1744. Further, if you'll notice, the authority on this one is the username which is logged into this server, and for the PowerShell also it is the anti-authority system which is actually running the PowerShell on the remote system. So if you want to see that which service is actually hidden in which Meterpreter is running, so you'll type in get PID and you'll be able to see the 380, which is your PowerShell command which we are controlling on our remote system. Now the question would be that why is it sitting in your PowerShell? Now the EternalBlue, the exploit that we used, it is actually built that it would take the advantage of the vulnerability in the PowerShell. Now if I don't want to sit in PowerShell and control the system, I can even migrate the service to the command prompt which is CMD 1744. Now let's try to migrate the service to CMD. As I told you that we can change the service to that one. So for that you must have the PID for the service to which you want to switch. So that's what I told you. You can embed it in any of the services which are running on your remote system. Once the user would close that service, you'll have to find another service in which you can embed the code. But since CMD is running on my remote system, I want to migrate to that one. So I'll type in migrate and then I'll type in CMD as 1744 and then I'll press enter, and it's trying to migrate from PowerShell to CMD. And once that's done, and if you want to check it, and now check get process ID and press enter, now you can see that before it was PowerShell, now it's 1744, which is your CMD, and in this one we are now embedding the EternalBlue payload. Now let's go back to our server and see that our CMD is running. It's not telling us anyhow that we are now controlling this one instead of the PowerShell process. Now let's try to do some other interesting stuff on this one. Now let's try to find the other exploits that we can do. Have a question mark over here and press enter. So it is telling us that the payload that we are using is capable of doing all these different things on your remote system. So let's try to do something related to key scan, and let's try to capture the keystrokes and see if we can get the information in this one. So let's do this one, which is keyscan_start, and see what happens. So let's type in the command keyscan and then start. So that would start capturing the keystrokes which would take place on our CMD command. Now, if I'll open my server and I'll go to my command prompt and I'll say, hey, I am just checking, and I'll not press enter, I'll not do anything, and I'll go back to my Meterpreter. And since we typed something over here and we were listening to the keystrokes, let's try to dump it now by typing dump and press enter. Now, as you can see, hey, I am just checking. Since I used a hyphen sign in between, it showed that, but you can see that it is actually capturing the information or any information which was entered on your keypad. Let's try it again. If we'll start it again on the system, so it gave me an error since I tried to start it again. Let's stop it first and then start it again and try to see if it can again capture the information. So if I'll say hello over here, I'll not press enter, move back and then type in hello again. And now go back to your interpreter and try to give the command as dump. You'll be able to see the backspaces and the hello, so it's capturing everything that you are entering on your remote system. So we'll stop the Meterpreter by the key scan of stop so that it's not even capturing, but you can still use lots of other things which are mentioned in this one in order to exploit the weakness of your remote operating system. So that's how you can use any of the payloads, and that's why we should be concerned about the weaknesses on our systems. In order to protect them, you must use the latest operating systems and the latest patches on your system. So that's it for today. Thank you very much.